Hello, good day everyone. So let's start with our discussion about the mathematics for chapter 3, problem solving and reasoning under in the lesson 3, Polya's 4 steps in problem solving. Okay, let's start. Okay, so today we're going to take a look at the historical roots of problem-solving strategies, beginning with some of the earliest mathematicians and thinkers who shaped the way we approach the problem-solving today. And we have Euclid and Pappus. So these two ancient mathematicians, were not only interested in solving mathematical problems, but also in the study of heuristic. And the heuristic is essentially the study of discovery methods and the rules behind invention. So their works laid an important foundation of how problem solving was approached, and particularly in the mathematics. Fast forward to the 17th century, we have the René Descartes, a mathematician and a philosopher who tried to develop a universal problem-solving method. Though he did not fully achieve this goal, his contributions are still highly significant, and he shared some of his idea in his work. For example, the work of René Descartes, The Rules of the Direction of the Mind, and the more famous Discours de la Méthode. His ideas were pivotal in the formalizing logical step for solving problems systematically. And next we have the Gottfried Wilhelm Leibniz, another influential philosopher and mathematician. He planned to write a book on heuristic titled Art of Intervention, and Leibniz took a particular interest in understanding the source of intervention, which he found more intriguing than the invention themselves. His viewpoint was discovery, the underlying principle that led to solutions, was more valuable than the solutions themselves. And these early contributions form the backdrop to modern problem-solving strategies until now, such as those developed by George Polya, which we'll discuss next. Okay, so that is the foundation of the problem-solving from Euclid and Pappus, going to René Descartes and Gottfried Wilhelm Leibniz. And those problem-solving strategies, those developed by George Polya. Okay. So George Polya's 1887-1985. So George Polya was born in Hungary in 1887 and later moved to the United States in 1940. Polya was a mathematician, but what really set him apart was his intense focus on how people solve problems, particularly in mathematics. He was not just interested in solution to the mathematical problems. He wanted to understand and teach the process of how we arrive at those solutions. One of his famous significant contribution was the development of the problem-solving strategy that could be applied to many different types of problems in mathematics, in science, in any problems. This approach was simple yet incredibly powerful. It involves breaking down the problem-solving process into 4 clear steps, which we'll dive into shortly. The Polya's influence extends far beyond just mathematics. His approach has been applied to various fields like engineering, education, sciences, and even everyday decision-making. And his works emphasizes the importance of thinking systematically and following a process when tackling complex issues. And the Polia's book, How to Solve It, published in 1945 and is still widely used today. And offering timeless advice on problem-solving strategies, his method helps us to become better thinkers and problem solvers, which after all what education is all about. Okay, we have the Folia's four steps method. Okay, the Folia's four steps method in the next slide. Okay, first method, understand the problem. The second method, devise a plan. Third method, carry out the plan. And the fourth method, review, reflect on the solution. So that are the four steps method. Okay, in the step one, the first step is understand the problem. This might seem obvious, but it's a critical point. Before jumping into solving, you need to make sure you really grasp what the problem is asking. Ask yourself first, what are the key details in the given problems? What is known and what needs to be found? Is there any information missing? Okay, that is the first step. And step 2, devise a plan. Okay, in devising a plan, once you fully understand the problem, the next step is to devise a plan. This is where you decide on the method or the strategy to solve the problem. Depending on the problem, you might use algebra, look for patterns, break the problem into smaller parts, or guess and check, or even work backward. So choosing the right approach, different approaches is very important because the plan is your roadmap to the solution. So that is the devising plan. And step 3, carry out the plan. After creating a plan, the next step is to carry out the plan. This is where you apply the method you've chosen. Follow the steps systematically. And number 1, be careful. Okay, in your planning, check your calculations and take it one step at a time. Now, this is the part where all the thinking and planning come into action. So that is the third step. And the first step, review, reflect on the solution. So the final step is to review or reflect on the solution. Once you arrive at an answer, it's important to go back and check your work. So that is, check your solution. Ask yourself, does the solution make sense? Is there another way to solve the problem? Could I have done something differently? So reflecting on the process helps to us to solidify your understanding and improve problem-solving skills for future problems. So that is the 4 steps. That are the 4 steps on how to solve the given problems, especially in mathematics, specifically in mathematics. Okay? And let's start with the first example. We have 3 different problems here, but we need to discuss step by step on how to solve that problem. Okay, example number 1. You have a rectangular garden where the length is 5 meters longer than the width. Okay, so take note, we have rectangular garden. So where the length is 5 meters longer than the width. Okay, here's the length. Okay, length is 5 meters longer. Okay, width is the length is 5 meters longer the width. Yan. And the width, here is the width. The perimeter of the garden is 30 meters. Okay, all of all of the side, no, this garden is 30 meters. Square unit. Okay, 30 meters. So that is the parameter of this rectangular garden. And we know, if step 1, understand the problem, we know that the perimeter of the rectangle is 30 meters. The length of the garden is 5 meters longer the width. We need to find the dimension. For example, the length of and the width of the garden. And the formula of the perimeter of a rectangle is perimeter is equal to 2 times length plus width. So that is the perimeter of rectangle, or perimeter is equal to L plus 2 width. So that is the perimeter of a rectangle. So let's define the width as W, denoted by W, and therefore the length is width plus 5, because length is 5 meters longer than the width. Okay, so that is the step 1. Now, by applying algebraic expressions. Step 2, devising a plan, devise a plan. So we can use the perimeter formula to set up an equation that we can solve, no, substituting what we know. So the perimeter, let's have our formula. Perimeter is equal to 2 times length plus width. Yeah. So the perimeter, given perimeter is 30 meters. Okay, we have our constant, bring down 2 times, we have our width, and the length is width plus 5. Okay, so that is the length. Okay, this is our width, ito yung length. Now, we'll solve for W, the width of the garden. So, how we can solve that one? No. So, carry out the plan. Let's simplify and solve the equation. Okay, take note. Here are our equation. No? Okay, 30 is equal to 2 times W plus W plus 5. Okay, so that is our equation. So, yun. Okay, so using the wait, I forgot. Distributive property of multiplication. So let's, okay, no, using the adding the property of the same term, variable, W plus W. So simplifying it, W plus W is equal to 2W. Okay, bring down 5 using the multiplication distributive property of multiplication. Okay, property 2 times 2W and 2 times 5. 2 times 2W, 4W, 2 times 5, 10. And after that, applying the addition property of inequality. Addition property of inequality. So it means you need to transpose 10, in the left side. Positive 10 will be negative 10. Will become negative 10. So 30 minus 10, 20. 4W still remain. So it means 20 is equal to 4W to get, or to obtain the value of W by dividing for both sides. Okay, 4W divided by 4 is equal to 1, and 20 divided by 4 is equal to 5. So the final answer of the width is equal to 5. So the width of the garden is 5 meters. Okay, the parameters is 30. Width is 5. Okay, now, since the length is 5 meters longer the width, So length W plus 5, so it means our width is 5. So by substitution method, so 5 plus 5 is equal to 10. So the length of the garden is 10 meters. So the length is 10 meters. Okay. Now, that is our review reflect on the solution. So let's check our solution by plugging the values back into the the perimeter formula. Perimeter formula. So not parameter, perimeter formula. So the perimeter is equal to 2 times, so our length is 10, width is 5, 10 plus 5. So unahin muna natin yun by PEMDAS, no? Parenthesis first. So inside the parenthesis, let's do the solution. 10 plus 5 is equal to 15. 2 times 15 is equal to 30. So yun, check, no? The perimeter is equal to 30. So that is the final answer. So the dimension of the garden are width 5 meters and the length is 10 meters and the perimeter is 30 meters. So that's it. The given example. Okay. So next example, guess and check. You need to guess and check the given example. Okay, Glenda bought books and CD as gifts. Altogether, she bought 12 gifts and spent 840 pesos for 12 gifts, and the books cost 60 pesos each and the CD cost 90 pesos each. So the question is, how many of each gift did she buy? Okay, first step is we need to understand the problem first, no? So by Glenda, no, both books and gifts, altogether she bought 12 gifts, no? So it means 840 pesos will be spent to buy 12 gifts. Okay, and the gift should be books and CD, and the cost of each gifts is 60 pesos each and 90 pesos each respectively. Is to find out how many books and CDs will be bought. No? How many books, how many CDs in 12 gifts. No? And the pricing is 60 pesos and 90 pesos. 60 for books, 90 for CD. And the total cost is 840 pesos. So, devising a plan. So, one method to solve this problem is to make a reasonable guess and check. And the result to make a better guess until you get the right number of books and CDs to be bought for 840 pesos. Okay, so carry out the plan. Okay, we have our guess and check for this, no? Guess 1, guess 2, or guess 3. So what if Glenda bought 6 books and 6 CDs, and we know exactly that 6 books as each book is 60 pesos and 60 pesos for books and 90 pesos each for CD. So 6 books and 6 CDs. So 6 times 60, 360, and 6 times 90, 540. And by summation of these, the summation of these is equal to 900 pesos. Take note that Glenda spent 840 pesos for those 12 gifts. So, as you can see, the final answer is 900 pesos. It's not the same, no? In Glenda's spent 840, so very wrong. So revise your guess, no? You need to fewer CDs to bring the total cost down. No? Guess 2, 7 books. 7 times 60 is equal to 420. For the 5 CDs, 5 times 90 is equal to 450. As you can see, the summation of 7 and 5, 7 for books, 5 for CD, is equivalent of 870 pesos. Take note, hindi po siya the same, no, equal doon sa Glenda's spend, no, for 12 gifts, 840 pesos. Very wrong po ang second guess. In the third guess, so what if 8 books? What if 4 CDs? No? 8 times 60 is 480. And 4 times 90 is equal to 360 is equal to 840 pesos. So now, Glenda bought 8 books and 4 CDs. Okay, so review the solution. So we have made 3 guesses, and it was checked that 8 books will cost it 480 pesos and CDs will cost 360 pesos, and the 12 gifts have total cost of 840. So check. So the third guess is correct. So another example, no, make a table and look for pattern. No? Some problem describe a relationship that involve regular sequence of a number or other things. No? To solve the problem, you need to be able to recognize and describe the pattern that gives a relationship for the numbers or things. One way to recognize information given is make a table. Okay? Example. So a tree farm is planted, no, at the right. The dots represent trees. The lot will be enlarged by adding larger squares. How many trees will be in the first squares? So first is understand the problem. So the distance between the two trees is 2 feet. To take note, distance between the 2 trees is 2 feet, and there are 4 trees. No, the first square. Take note, in the first square inside is 4 trees, and 12 trees in the second square. Okay, take note, ha. Okay, in the third square is 20 trees. No, is easy to find the number of trees to be planted in the fifth square. So now the question is how many trees will be in the fifth square, and we have our fourth square in the given problem in the fifth square. So devise a plan. No? A table may help you to see the relationship and number of trees planted on each square and find the pattern and solve the problem. So carry out the plan. So make a table to have the pattern or the relationship between those squares. So first is we have our first column, first row, square position, and the second rows, first column, number of trees. And we have our first column, first row, second column, first, second square, third square, fourth square, and fifth square. Okay. Now, the first square is 4 trees, and the second square is 12 trees. Take note, and the third square is 20 trees. Take note, we have our pattern, no, in the first, second, and third. So it's the pattern of these. So we have 8, no, in terms of pattern. So 4 plus 8 is 12, no? 12 plus 8 is 20. And 20 plus 8, we have 28. And 28 plus 8, we have 36. So therefore, in the final square or the fifth square, we have 36 trees in the fifth square. So since 8 more trees are planted in each largest square, the fourth square will have 28 trees, and the fifth square will have 36 trees. So that is the final answer. And that would be all for the Folio's 4 steps method. And we have our references: Guillermo, Mathematics in the Modern World textbook; Rodriguez, Mathematics in the Modern World textbook; and Outman, Mathematics in the Modern World textbook, Rex Bookstore, and Wow Math YouTube channel. And that would be all. Thank you so much.